Seriously, are we really doing this again? Just when you thought the offseason drama around the Atlanta Falcons was starting to settle down, a bombshell report drops that reignites the biggest question mark surrounding this team. What is the true status of Kyle Pitts? Is he staying or is he going? Let's get into it. Welcome back, football fanatics. We got a developing story straight from one of the most plugged-in reporters in the game that has set the NFL world abuzz. We're talking about Kyle Pitts, the Falcons' talented, yet sometimes enigmatic, tight end. 4 months now, the whispers of potential trade involving the former 4th overall pick have been persistent, like a drumbeat in the background of the Falcons' offseason activities. But now, those whispers have gotten significantly louder, transitioning from speculation to something far more concrete. According to none other than ESPN's Adam Schefter, speaking on his podcast, the Atlanta Falcons are indeed receiving calls from teams across the league who are expressing interest in potentially acquiring the services of Kyle Pitts. Now, Schefter was careful to clarify that the Falcons are not actively shopping Pitts. They aren't making outbound calls. Try to offload him to the highest bidder. However, and this is a critical distinction, they are absolutely entertaining the discussions. They are taking the calls. They are listening to what other teams have to say. And they are, in Schefter's words, not turning away the calls either. This is a significant shift from a flat-out, he's not available stance. It signals a potential openness to moving on from the player they invested such high draft capital in, if the circumstances are right. So why are teams calling? Despite the frustrations over his inconsistent production since his phenomenal rookie season, the talent with Kyle Pitts is undeniable. He's a physical marvel, a tight end with wide receiver speed and size, a player who, when everything clicks, can be a legitimate game changer. He's still only 24 years old, which in NFL terms, especially for a player with his physical gifts, means his prime years should theoretically still be ahead of him. Teams look at the flashes, the incredible catches, the moments where he looks utterly uncoverable, and they see the potential. They see the player who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie, the player who eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards, a rare feat for a tight end, especially a rookie one. They might believe that in their system, with their coaching staff, and perhaps with a different quarterback situation, they could unlock that consistent, dominant version of Kyle Pitts that the Falcons have only seen in spurts since 2021. The interest is a testament to the raw talent he possesses, even if production hasn't consistently matched the hype. Now, let's talk about the Falcons' perspective and what it would take for them to actually pull the trigger on a trade. Schefter's report suggests that the Falcons could be enticed into trading Pitts if a team were willing to give up enough to get him. This is the classic NFL negotiation dance. The Falcons know what they invested in him, the number 4 pick. They know the upside he still possesses. They aren't going to just give him away. They're looking for a return that justifies moving on from a player they had envisioned as a cornerstone of their offense for years to come. They're listening, they're evaluating, but they're not desperate sellers. The price has to be right, and it has to be significant enough to make them feel comfortable parting with a player who, despite his struggles, is still a starter and a significant threat when utilized effectively. This is a fire sale. It's a potential leveraging of an asset, but only if the market dictates a favorable return. However, there are significant hurdles standing in the way of a potential deal, and the biggest one revolves around financials. As Schefter pointed out, Kyle Pitts is due to make around $11 million in salary this year. Furthermore, the Falcons exercise his 5th-year option, which guarantees him over $10 million in 2025. For a team trading for Pitts now, they are essentially acquiring a player who is guaranteed a substantial salary for the upcoming season. And from their perspective, he's entering the final year of his contract before potentially hitting free agency, unless they extend him. How many teams are willing to pay the Falcons a premium trade package and take on that significant salary commitment for a player who hasn't consistently produced at an elite level since his rookie year? Schefter himself expressed out, stating, "I don't know that there are a whole lot of teams lining up to pay the Falcons what it would take, and to pay Kyle Pitts what it would take when he's entering the last year of his contract. This is the cold reality of the NFL salary cap and market value. Pitt's current contract and inconsistent performance make him a complicated trade piece. Teams interested are likely looking for a bargain, hoping to buy low on a player with high upside. The Falcons, on the other hand, are likely holding out for a price commensurate with his draft status and potential, not necessarily his recent production. That gap in valuation is the biggest obstacle to a trade. Let's revisit that production drop-off. After that spectacular rookie season in 2021, where he hauled in 68 passes for over 1,000 yards and a touchdown, Pitt's numbers have significantly declined. In 2024, playing in all 17 games, he finished with just 47 catches for 602 yards and 4 touchdowns. Similar numbers were posted the year before. It's a stark contrast to the player who burst onto the scene. Now, it's fair to acknowledge that Pitts has had to navigate some turbulent waters regarding quarterback play throughout his time in Atlanta. Erratic quarterback performance can absolutely impact a pass catcher's statistics and consistency. However, there have also been moments where Pitts himself has struggled, including what have been described as brutal lapses at key moments in games. It's a complex situation with blame likely shared. The Falcons drafted him hoping he would be the focal point, the primary weapon in the passing attack. That hasn't materialized consistently. They still picked up his fifth-year option, signaling they still see value. But the fact that they are even listening to trade calls speaks volumes about the internal evaluation of his role and future. So where does this leave us? The report is clear. Kyle Pitts is reportedly available via trade, but only for the right price. Teams are interested because of his immense talent and upside at just 24 years old. The Falcons are listening but not actively selling, holding out for a significant return. The major roadblock is his current contract combined with his recent production, which makes his market value potentially lower than what the Falcons believe he's worth. The question now becomes, will a team step up with an offer that the Falcons simply cannot refuse? Or will Pitts remain in Atlanta, with both player and team hoping that the arrival of a new quarterback and offensive system can finally unlock that consistent Pro Bowl potential? It's a storyline that will continue to dominate the offseason until a resolution is reached. All right, that's the latest on the Kyle Pitts trade situation. This is a massive story with so many layers. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think the Falcons should trade him if they get a good offer? What kind of compensation would you want to see? Jump into the comment section below and let us know your take. Let's get this conversation going. And hey, if you found this report insightful and you're as hooked on this story as we are, please do us a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hitting that like button is the best way to support the channel, and make sure we can keep bringing you these exclusive reports and breaking news. Don't forget to drop your comment. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed and have those notification bells ringing so you don't miss a single update. We're tracking this story closely, and we'll be back with more as soon as we have it. Thanks for watching.